A very good evening. Much thanks for joining us here on the program. This is Look Up News. I am Nelima, and our sign language interpreter for tonight is Josephine Oko. Do stay with us as we bring you up-to-spirit stories that are making headlines across all 47 counties. Before we get into the business of the day, here are our top stories. Tonight on Look Up News, President William Ruto fires Irene Masit as IEBC Commissioner.
And you are welcome not just today. Even when we sort out your issues, they get better. Don't just come when there are problems. Come and say, no, Deputy President, our things now are okay. And you can invite me for a drink.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua meets Nairobi small-scale traders a day after their protest over Chinese infiltration in the Kenyan business market. And 8 suspects arrested in Kiambu County in a car theft syndicate. Once more, welcome to the broadcast. The hashtag is Look Up News. At Look Up TV on Twitter, Look Up TV on Facebook, and Look Up TV on our YouTube channel. Do stay with us and let us know where you're watching as from using the hashtag Look Up News. Let's begin. President William Ruto has sacked the embattled IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit following recommendations by Justice Aggrey Mchelule Tribunal and announced a vacancy for her position. The tribunal investigating the conduct of 4 Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission IEBC officials recommended that Masit be removed from office. Masit, who is one of the commissioners, and her former colleagues Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera and Commissioners Justice Nyang'aya and Francis Wanderi, were involved in serious violations of the Constitution during the 2022 elections. And at the Senate, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has termed terrorism as a serious threat to national security. Appearing before the Senate National Cohesion and Human Rights Committee, the Interior CS said the counter-terrorism measures put up in the last 5 years are working with several cases handled so far. Take a look.
Troops were deployed into the North region in the battle against armed bandits. Interior and National Coordination CS Kithure Kindiki today appeared before the Senate Committee on National Cohesion in regards to matters fighting insecurity in the North Rift region.
The last 120 days, I have traveled more than any of my predecessors has ever traveled out of Nairobi.
True.
Especially to places which were never visited. So I'm sorry to blow Mount trumpets.
Kindiki insisted that the government has made good progress in the ongoing security operation in parts of Rift Valley.
This time round, we are not retreating. We won't retreat. We will populate that region with enough security deployments and stay there, develop the area and stay there for good and make sure those areas become the solution for Kenya's economic prosperity in the years to come.
A confident Kindiki assured the committee that the government will win the battle against the bandits, insisting that the government has deployed all its best machinery and manpower to curb the menace.
And I want to assure the people of Kenya we'll win this battle. Just a matter of time. We will win it. We will crush bandits. Many years later, when we are not around, banditry and the terrorism in the north will be taught in schools as part of history. And we are not in a contest with anybody. Neither are we looking for popularity. We'll crush the bandits, we'll crush their sponsors, we'll crush their sympathizers. We will deal with them because this is about the survival of our country. It is nothing else.
The first-time CS also hinted at plans for special operation in Isiolo and Marsabit, where insecurity is now homegrown.
We'll release all the government machinery to recover, first of all, the property that has been stolen. But as I said, in the next 3 weeks or so, we'll be announcing very drastic and permanent issues for Marsabit and parts of Isiolo, especially Marsabit and Isiolo North. What is cooking there could generate genocidal activity in the future. It's about communities and communities trying to, finish each other. And that's very dangerous in a modern country. So allow.
This comes even as the fight against banditry in Turkana County continues, with County Commissioner assuring residents that the government will prioritize their safety.
Hali ya usalama iko shwari, barabara iko safi na shwari, wananchi wanaosafiri, mizigo na kila kitu inaweza kusafirishwa pasi na wasiwasi.
Ian Keitani, Look Up TV.
Thank you, Keitani, for that story. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua held a meeting with small-scale traders in Nairobi at Harambee House Annex to discuss the challenges that impede their businesses. The meeting was attended by high-ranking government officials, including cabinet secretaries, the National Assembly Majority Leader, and heads of various agencies. During the meeting, the traders presented their grievances, which included matters of taxation, standards, and immigration challenges.
We want to build our relationships with all friendly countries. We want to grow trade. We want to increase the volume of trade. We want to send exports there, as is they send their exports here, and we will look for a solution without antagonizing any country, without antagonizing anybody. The Ruto administration is a people's government, and one of our tool of governance is continuous engagement with the people of Kenya. And it's for that reason that I granted that audience, because we are people's government. That the Ruto administration will continue to listen to the people of Kenya. And you are welcome to all our offices. We have told our cabinet secretaries, our principal secretaries, to open the doors to the people of Kenya. We'll have time to listen to you all the time. And that is why we are here today, to listen to you. This is a listening government. It's a people's government. It's a government that respects the people. It's a government that listens to its people. It's a government that is willing to dialogue and engage with its citizens, because that is the right thing to do. That is why you are in this meeting. And you are welcome not just today. Even when we sort out your issues, they get better. Don't just come when there are problems. Come and say, no, Deputy President, our things now are okay. And you can invite me for a drink when things are better. Don't just come when there are problems. This is your office. Without you, I will not be here. Without you, President William Ruto will not be in State House. And that we know.
When you look at the businesses, our direct, the jobs that we have created in this country, it's more than 1 million. And I even want to narrow down to you. When you look at the number of shops that we have in Kikomba, Kamukunji, Nyamakima, River Road, Kirinyaga Road, when you combine all that, on average, each shop has at least 3 employees.
Moving on, the Senate Assembly has begun debating on the bill that will see national debt ceiling raised to enable the national government to borrow additional funds to address the budget deficit in the current financial year. In a bill proposed by Mandera Senator Ali Roba and seconded by Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale, President Ruto's regime is banking on the bill to run critical sectors of the economy. The first reading of the bill, Solo Makers Allied to Kenya Kwanza, expressed their support as opposition MPs raised their reservations. The bill will be debated further tomorrow.
I would like to urge Kenyans, and especially the opposition, or rather the minority side of the House, to take a bit of time and understand debt, to take a bit of time and think about debt. There's nothing wrong with debt. In fact, one thing I learned from my teacher, who taught me private practice at the School of Medicine at the University of Nairobi, is that you must borrow. The problem is how you use the money that you have borrowed. There's been a lot of hue and cry about raising, it is wrong to raise the ceiling on debt. There's nothing wrong. You can raise it and raise it on condition that when you borrow the money is injected into the development aspect of our budget.
Mr. Speaker, it is good that we voice our concerns and tell Treasury and all stakeholders, particularly the Treasury, that we are concerned as a country. We do not want to earn a dubious reputation as a nation of defaulting on sovereign debt obligations.
Kenya's high level of debt will raise the fiscal vulnerability and increase interest payments on public debt. Kenya is a member of the East African community. Already you have breached the limits within the treaty on borrowing.
And staying in Parliament, the National Assembly has read for the second time proposals in the supplementary budget that will enable the government to fund key projects in the current financial year. In the supplementary budget, 9 million has been allocated to fund junior secondary school education. 6 billion will go towards food relief to alleviate the effects of persistent drought in the country, while 3 billion will fund the Constituency Development Fund, among other government projects.
To say, Honourable Speaker, that this supplementary budget of this first supplementary budget under the new administration has taken care of about 3 items that are so important where the country is at the moment. Honourable Speaker, there is 6 billion shillings that has been allocated to go into drought mitigation, which at the moment we know the situation the country is facing. We have almost every corner of this country. We have a drought that is ravaging every area, and Kenyans are suffering because they're not able to do their normal, get the normal food, and even the food baskets have been affected. So this 6 billion, Honourable Speaker, has been allocated for food relief. Some of us come from ASAL areas, Honourable Speaker, and therefore we are calling upon government. The immediate, this supplementary budget is passed and signed into law. We expect that suffering Kenyans need to get this food, and therefore all the apparatus of government that are concerned in the distribution must move in fast to save lives, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, we know the confusion that is going on right now under junior secondary. This supplementary budget has allocated 9.2 billion shillings to go and sort out the mess we find in the junior secondary space, Honourable Speaker. And therefore, Honourable Speaker, we know capitation in this country for our students in schools. In primary school, definitely this capitation is very little. But now that junior secondary is domiciled in primary schools, we expect now even the primary school to now have sufficient funds, Honourable Speaker, to make them viable, Honourable Speaker. Because we have primary schools, Honourable Speaker, that have very low enrollment. And therefore, the little money they receive under primary school capitation is never enough to run the schools, Honourable Speaker.
Away from Parliament, 8 suspects have been arrested in Kiambu County following a car theft syndicate that has seen a number of vehicles stolen and vandalized. This comes after police from Kabete constituency in Kiambu County were alerted about the ongoing activity at a home in Muguga village. The 8 have been locked at the Kingero police station and the vehicles towed to the same police station as police investigate the incident. This and among other stories with Cecilia Lubanga.
The 6 who were arrested and locked up at Kingero police station were arrested in Muguga village, a home that has served as their hideout from the public and police watch. This was, however, not to last, as police got wind of their illegal activity and quickly swung into action.
Officers, the OCS Muguga went to the scene and managed to arrest 6 suspects.
In the process, police found 2 pickup vehicles vandalized within the same compound and 1 more suspected to be used in ferrying the spare parts. The police discovered that they will often dismantle a vehicle and sell the parts in Nairobi and other regions.
We also recovered another vehicle, a Duke vehicle, which we are yet to establish whether it is also a stolen motor vehicle. We believe that both motor vehicles are stolen.
Kumekuwa na wizi ambayo imekuwa ikifanyika sehemu hii, lakini sana sana magari zenye zinakatakatwa hapa zinakuwa zimetolewa nje ya location yetu ya Muguga. Lakini tumekuja kujua kwamba wanaofanya kazi hii mbovu ni wengine kama kijana mwenye boma hii.
Waiting for the scenes of crime personnel from DCI headquarters to come and do restoration so that we can partner with the NTSA to know the owner of the vehicle.
The culprits include 6 men and 2 women who, upon police interrogation, could not account for the vandalized vehicles and the spare parts discovered in the home. The 8 have since been locked up at Kingero Police Station in Kiambu County, awaiting investigations. Cecilia Lubanga, Look Up TV.
And that story by Cecilia Lubanga takes us for a very fast break here on the program, but don't go too far. We have a lot coming on the business front as well as in the sporting world.
Hello, yes. Can I make a Valentine order? Tapo tapo? Yes. 2 flowers, 2 dresses, and a sparkling red shoes. Tapo. Alafu payment ni single wewe. Tapo tapo Valentine. What about?
Mwezi huu wa mapenzi, spread the love na Lotto Valentine's Double Double. Jishindie pesa taslim guaranteed kati ya shilingi 200,000 na shilingi 1,000,000 ndani ya daily draw, na mpenzi wako wa Valentine's atapata pesa kama hizo. Hii Valentine's prizes ni kibao. Kuna 10 fully paid couples holidays kila wiki kwenda Mombasa, Diani, Mount Kenya, Masai Mara na Naivasha. Sambaza upendo na Lotto na ujishindie hadi shilingi milioni 100 ndani ya mega jackpot. Changamka, cheza Lotto. Tuma kati ya shilingi 50 na shilingi 1,000 kwa paybill number 77700, account name Luke. Changamka, cheza Lotto Valentine's Double Double.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Look Up TV and all our digital platforms. Call us today on 011 0430 158, 011 0430 158, or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with the program. The hashtag is LookUpNews. Moving on, 400 chicken and several goats and sheep perished in a raging inferno in Kakamega. The fire, whose source is still unknown, occurred at 3 a.m., forcing residents to brave the cold morning. The residents are now calling on the government to build wider roads to enable access of firefighting vehicles to homes. Gladys Masharia with more details.
The Lurambi fire tragedy has reduced tens of families at the mercy of spending in the cold after their houses were allegedly set on fire.
Kule kwa mang'ombe, makuku, mbuzi, kondoo ndio hatukuweza kuokoa. Ndio chanzo cha moto sijajua kabisa, kwa huko chini hakuna stima. Kuku zangu zilikuwa bafande huko chini, mbuzi na kondoo.
According to the victims, the fire started at 3 o'clock in the morning when they were sleeping, and they had to wake up to run for their safety outside with their valuable property, including more than 400 chicken and livestock.
Ningeliomba ya kwamba njia ziwe pana ili kwamba wakati wa mkasa aina hii gari la kuzima moto linapoingia liwe na urahisi kufika kule ambapo mkasa.
However, the source of the fire has not been determined so far. Some of the residents in the area have asked the county government to ensure that the roads of the area are good to help the fire vehicle reach the victims at the right time to save the situation in the future. Gladys Masharia, Look Up TV.
And out of some education matters, Egerton University will be forced to close due to the staff and I'll just take that again. Egerton University will be forced to close and discontinue a few staff and 8-degree courses due to financial constraints. Professor Isaac Kibwage, who is the Vice Chancellor of the university, explained the criteria that will be used to reduce the number of employees. Phoebe Ongombe with the full information.
Bad omens has dawned on dons at the Kenya's Egerton University after 8 degree programs at the Njoro-based university discontinued them in entirety. This, as a result, will mean that some employees will be let go as part of ongoing efforts to resuscitate the financially troubled by devaluing the institution. While Vice-Chancellor Professor Isaac Kibwage announced the many criteria to be used for declaring redundancies, the workers at the agricultural school had a chance to reflect on reality.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you are here, for me to tell you, having looked at those deficits, the funding gap we have can only be addressed by right sizing.
Bachelor of Industrial Technology, Bachelor of Technology in Civil Engineering, and Bachelor of Science, Soil Environment and Land Use Management are some of the courses that have been scrapped off. Phoebe Wangombe, Look Up TV.
And the government, through the Ministry of Energy, has embarked on an ambitious project that will see the whole country transition to clean source of energy. In the next financial year, the national government plans to have each household facilitated with modern cooking equipment that will enhance the use of LPG gas away from firewood and fossil energy, currently in use by the majority of Kenyans. Abigail Shearer with more.
4 days after the president launched green energy in Mombasa, the Ministry of Energy now targeting 100% access to clean cooking energy with the aim of reducing the use of fossil energy and preserving the environment. This initiative was taken to control the energy sector development.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Speaking during the energy sector induction program in Naivasha, Wycliffe Ogalo explains how the modern cooking energy will benefit the people.
The INEP has elevated the status of clean cooking, which has previously received less attention, to become a priority under energy access at both national and county levels, complete with facilitative budgets for implementation. INEP is a tool for operationalizing the various strategies and action plans designed to implement the Energy Policy 2018.
In the 2030 plan to address the country's energy crisis, the government is now taking action to see its success by providing modern cooking energy services by 2028.
Energy is a critical sector. It has very many agencies, and part of why we are here is to have an understanding of how then the county interfaces with the various agencies, Kenya Power, Rural Energy Electrification Commission, the KenGen, and all the other agencies. How do we create a relationship between the county government as a provider of services to the people with these other agencies?
Following the ongoing drought, which has affected the hydro sources of energy, making people turn to firewood and fossil energy, hence need to regulate this matter before it leads to more damage in the future.
We have several programs which we are doing with the community members, the women folk and the youth groups. We are trying to capacity build them towards clean stoves, and also the energy efficient GCOs, which we are trying to capacity build them along programs which we have with the partners, and it is picking up very well.
Abigail Shira, Look Up TV.
Time now for us to get sporty. The annual Windsor Golf Classic on the second round of the Kenya Amateur Golf Championship has been launched today at the Windsor Golf Hotel and Country Club. Sylvie Achacha with more.
The annual Windsor Golf Classic and the second round of the Kenya Amateur Golf Championship